Let us step into the world of Sir William Golding, one of the most thought-provoking novelists of the 20th century. Golding was a British writer whose work blended myth, psychology, and moral inquiry in ways that continue to challenge readers today. He wrote novels, plays, and poetry, but he is remembered above all for his extraordinary ability to explore the darker side of human nature. Golding was born in 1911 and received his early education at Marlborough Grammar School, where his father taught science. He later studied at Oxford, first focusing on science and then switching to literature, a decision that shaped his entire career. Before the war, Golding worked in a settlement house and also participated in small theatre groups, experiences that gave him an early understanding of communities, conflict, and performance. Eventually, he became a schoolmaster at Bishop Wordsworth's School, teaching boys whose energy and unpredictability would later inspire his most famous novel. However, Golding's life took a dramatic turn during the Second World War. In 1940, he joined the Royal Navy, where he served with distinction. He even participated in the attack that helped sink the German battleship Bismarck and later commanded a rocket launcher during the invasion of France in 1944. These wartime experiences transformed his understanding of humanity's capacity for violence. After the war, Golding returned to teaching and continued until 1961, when the success of his writing allowed him to devote himself fully to literature. His first and most celebrated novel, Lord of the Flies, appeared in 1954 and quickly became a landmark in modern fiction. The novel explores how a group of stranded boys descend into savagery, revealing Golding's belief that evil is not an external force, but something that lies deep within human beings. Golding went on to publish 12 volumes of fiction, each distinct in theme and style. His second novel, The Inheritors, published in 1955, depicts the final days of the Neanderthals and imagines their world with haunting sensitivity. This novel's portrayal of early humanity has been asked in exam, so keep it in mind. In Pinter Martin, he explored guilt, survival, and the struggle of a shipwrecked man fighting for life. Free Fall and The Spire continued his investigation into moral choice and the nature of evil, while Darkness Visible, which follows a boy burned during the wartime blitz, examines spiritual identity and trauma. That theme of a child scarred by war has also been mentioned in exam. Golding later wrote a major trilogy known as To the Ends of the Earth, set on a 19th century ship. The first part of this trilogy, Rites of Passage, won the Booker Prize in 1980, and this award has been asked in exam. The two succeeding volumes, Close Quarters and Fire Down Below, completed the Sea Trilogy, and the Group of Three has also appeared in exam questions. In 1983, Golding received the Nobel Prize in Literature, and this recognition often appears in exam as well. 5 years later, in 1988, he was knighted for his contribution to British literature. His later works include The Paper Men and, after his death in 1993, a final novel titled The Double Tongue was published posthumously in 1995. Across all his writing, Golding returned to a single urgent question: what lies at the core of human nature? His novels suggest that beneath civilization's surface there is a persistent shadow, a darkness capable of rising whenever order collapses. Still, he approached this idea not with despair, but with honesty. By revealing the flaws of humanity, he believed we might begin to confront them. William Golding remains one of the most influential modern novelists, a writer whose imaginative worlds continue to challenge, unsettle, and illuminate the complex moral landscape of the human heart. Let's step into the unsettling world of William Golding's Lord of the Flies, a novel published in 1954, and this publication year has been asked in exam. From the very beginning, Golding explores a disturbing question: what happens to human nature when all rules and authority suddenly vanish? The story takes place during a nuclear war, when children are evacuated from Britain for safety, but their plane is shot down and it crashes near a Pacific island, killing all the adults, another fact noted in exam. The only survivors are boys in middle childhood or early adolescence, stranded on an uninhabited island with no guidance, no supervision, and no structure. Among them are Ralph and Piggy, who soon find a conch shell washed up on the beach. Using it as a horn, they summon the scattered survivors. This discovery, the conch as their first symbol of authority, has been mentioned in exam. When the boys gather, they decide to elect a chief, and the conch becomes the marker of order and legitimate speech. Ralph is chosen as their leader, a crucial point that has also been asked in exam. Ralph tries to build a society based on cooperation. He sets clear goals for the group: enjoy the island, work for survival, and most importantly, keep a signal fire burning so that passing ships can rescue them. To light this fire, the boys use Piggy's glasses, and this symbolic detail has also been tested in exam. But fear creeps in. The boys begin to imagine a mysterious beast lurking in the forest. Ralph insists that no such creature exists, while Jack, the head of the choir boys turned hunters, promises to track it down. As Jack's tribe grows more aggressive, they neglect the signal fire, and one day a ship passes without noticing them. Ralph's frustration grows, and he even considers stepping down as chief, but Piggy urges him to stay strong. An eerie turning point comes when an aerial battle takes place above the island and the corpse of a parachutist drifts down, landing on the mountain. Sam and Eric, standing watch that night, mistake the figure for the beast itself, a misunderstanding that has been asked in exam. When Ralph, Jack, and Roger investigate, they see the corpse in the dark and flee in terror, convinced the beast is real. Meanwhile, Simon, the gentle, solitary boy who often seeks peace in the forest, another detail noted in exam, begins to understand the truth. Jack's tribe has now broken away completely, and in a ritualistic frenzy, they offer a pig's head to the imagined beast. This head, swarming with flies, becomes the eerie symbol known as the Lord of the Flies, a chilling representation of the boy's own capacity for violence. In one of the novel's most unforgettable moments, the Lord of the Flies seems to speak to Simon, warning him that the real danger lies within the boys themselves. Simon later discovers the parachutist's body and rushes back to tell the others the truth. But in a storm of panic, fear, and savage chanting, the boys mistake him for the beast and beat him to death. Ralph and Piggy are devastated by Simon's murder, though they struggle to admit their own involvement. Soon after, Jack leads a night raid and steals Piggy's glasses, leaving Ralph's group unable to keep a fire going. Determined to recover them, Ralph confronts Jack at Castle Rock, a moment that has appeared in exam. The conflict escalates, and Roger releases a massive boulder that kills Piggy instantly and shatters the conch. This violent act, as well as the destruction of the conch, has also been asked in exam. From here, the spiral into savagery speeds up. Roger tortures Sam and Eric, forcing them to join Jack's tribe. They later warn Ralph that Jack has ordered a hunt to kill him. Jack then sets the forest ablaze to smoke Ralph out, not caring that the fire is consuming the entire island. Ralph runs for his life, crashing through the burning foliage. Just when he believes he is finished, he collapses at the feet of a British naval officer who has arrived after seeing the enormous fire. Ralph weeps for Simon and Piggy, a moment that has appeared in exam, and the other boys begin sobbing as well, suddenly transformed from savages back into frightened children. The officer, shocked by what he sees, expresses disappointment that British boys could descend into such violence. In the end, Golding leaves us with a haunting allegory about civilization versus savagery, the fragility of moral order, and the unsettling truth that darkness does not come from the outside, it comes from within human nature itself. The island becomes a miniature world where the conch, the fire, and the Lord of the Flies all stand as powerful symbols of leadership, hope, and inner corruption. Even today, Lord of the Flies remains one of the most profound studies of societal collapse and the human instinct toward brutality. It challenges us to ask, what keeps us civilized? And what happens when those structures vanish?